The process of finding and rebuilding yourself after a toxic relationship is not easy. We're diving into how to start that journey now with Karlyn. And Kar, we work on our relationships with our partners and our family members and our friends. But what about our relationship with self? If you've got toxic relationships, it can really chip away at your self-worth, can't it?
Absolutely can. And the interesting thing, Trace, is that feeling of unworthiness, sometimes it can feel like a cloud that's hanging over your head. And as you go through life, that cloud just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which really makes it harder to rebuild and to reconnect to that authentic self on our journey.
Now, you mentioned something called the domino effect. What is that, and how does that just make the problem so much bigger?
The domino effect, it's we tend to think sometimes, those feelings of unworthiness, it's limited to just ourselves and who we are, but it also impacts our existing relationships and future relationships as well. So it impacts every single area of our lives, and a really good place to start that rebuilding, or to maybe minimize, if you cannot stop the domino effect, how can we minimize it? And I'm really inspired by this quote from one of my favorite poets, Rumi, that says that when you're going on a journey, do not seek advice from someone who has never left home. So, which
Mm.
means the rebuilding begins with, who are people who can relate to what I have been through or going through and are successfully rebuilding their lives. So start by creating a group, a community support, people who are like-minded, who can relate to you, who have been where you are trying to get to, and really surround yourself with those people so that you can have the support in the community as you begin your journey.
Oh, that is such an important tip. The other thing you say is really important, and I love you for this all the time. Forgive yourself. Why is this an important step in the process?
The practice of compassion, because you will need to forgive yourself on the journey, because it's not about getting it right, but it's really about extending compassion to yourself so that as life continues to roll and to send us different things, we can create more space so that we can be intentional as we rebuild our future self.
Lovely. Okay, you've forgiven yourself, and now you're looking towards the future. Where are the best places to start looking for some guidance?
Start with a licensed therapist. My longest relationship is with my therapist, and I'm so grateful for her, because there, because there are days, honestly, Trace, the cloud can be so big and so heavy that I don't know what to do with it. Some days it's small and manageable. I can just tuck it in my purse, or I can, there's something that I can do that allows myself to move forward. But there are some days it's just too heavy. So a licensed therapist, if you can, someone, a professional, trauma-informed individual who can really help you to start rebuilding. But most importantly, they can help you to really see the emotional scars that might be getting in the way that we do not have awareness of. And they can really give us some guidance to ensure that we're rebuilding from a place of love and a place of compassion.
Two last lessons you want to talk to us about, and that is being patient and taking risks. What do we need to know?
Oh, the journey is a long one. So one thing that I'm always inspired by in with my, I call her my bestie, Dr. Brene Brown. She says, dare to be yourself, right? And the feelings of unworthiness, it won't go away. It might get smaller. It might not be as big where, we can't manage it. But on the days when it's really small, celebrate those days. Some days might feel like it's a battle, but there are some days where it might feel like you won the lottery. So take time, create an opportunity for you to actually celebrate those moments, because on the days when it's a little bit heavy, then you can use that inspiration from that joy reserve bank. You can now apply it on that day. And another thing I would say is, again, journal. Get a journal, get a planner. A couple of years ago, we worked with a women's shelter, and we provided them with, positive affirmation cards and journals and books. And something that, one of the women said that really stuck with me. And she said that having a planner, having a journal, or something that's outside of herself really gave her the feeling that she was taking control of her day. And by taking control of her day, she was able now to take control of the next day. And sometimes it's as simple as that. Can I win today? Can I win this moment? And once you can do that and have a record of it, you can now use this to remind yourself how far you've come.
That's why we love your success planner, sis. So good. Kar, thank you so much for the advice. We appreciate it.